Here's Tim Lewis with all the play-by-play. Derek Kennedy sets the kickoff.
Here's the kick. Grimm. We'll see it go out of bounds at about the 7-yard line, so they'll take the football on the 35 to start the football game, and the Birds will have it. Bowling Green is in. .242 and the defensive end, so they backed him up. And here we go, Kennedy's approach. Better. Grimm will take it at the 17. They do the reverse. Johnson to the 25. Gets outside of the 35, knocked out of bounds at the 32, or pardon me, the 37.
So in that exchange, Tim Lewis, they gained 2 yards. They would have had it to 35. They'll start at the 37. So you do gain 2 yards. That could be big. You never know.
Well, hey, you never know. They might get down to the goal line and need that 2 yards. First attempt for the Birds as we're underway, and they'll take it on the near hash mark. Randy Stegman is a sophomore wide receiver. If they put the ball up, look for him to get really involved in the offense. Kevin Brannick, senior, on that side as well. They'll come to the line with the back split behind Sauer. That is Lickard and Frisk. And on first down, the counter, Frisk up the middle. Bowling Green has obviously scouted him. That counter works so well against Leslie County. J.P. Sherrill with the tackle.
Yeah, he was in there along also with Franklin, the defensive back, but it was really Sherrill who hit him first. And that time, Derek Kennedy is sort of a rover man. He lined up on the right, he shifted a lot. He wanted to follow wherever Justin Frisk went. That's where Derek Kennedy went.
So no gain on the play, second down and 10. Brannick and McCord are the starting wide receivers. They are split. The tight end is Shearer. He'll go to the right side. And again, the pro set behind Sauer. PJ with a long count, straight up the middle. And Lickard this time is going to be pushed way back. No gain. Leading the way, Cornelius Blewett. J.P. Sherrill again, the 2 seniors making the stop.
So Highlands trying to go right up the gut of this Bowling Green defense. That's not going to be easy. This Bowling Green football team, Tim, everybody we talked to, very, very good against the run. It's his pass they have problems with, and that's probably why the loss of Matt Mason is so huge in the state championship game.
Well, Sauer's now had 2 full weeks under center, taking the snaps during practice. And he can throw the football. He had a touchdown pass last week against Leslie County. The elder Stegman brother, Jason Stegman, now lines up in the doubles twin set to the far side. Sauer's going to throw, 3-step drop back. He's going to go deep. He's looking for Brannick. Brannick almost one-hands it. Incomplete as it goes out of bounds. Defending Patrick Martin, the senior.
So they tried the 2 up-the-gut plays, and then they tried the long pass down the near sideline. You're right. That was a great effort there by Brannick. He pirouetted and almost came up with a one-handed grab at the 35, but Highlands will be forced to punt, and Arnson will come in and punt it away.
Jason Arnsman, he was the homecoming king this year. Pardon me, Nate Arnson. And Nate will kill me if I get his name wrong.
Great basketball player as well, a 3-year starter at Highlands.
Yeah, 6'5". Does play a little wide receiver. Back deep, Brian Harpool, he can scoot.
Of course, Arnson's father, Bobby, played in the NBA for 8 years.
Arnson will kick this one away about the 25-yard line. He's going to kick it right. What a kick. Harpool backpedals to the 21. They fake the reverse. He's going to the long side of the field, gets a couple of blocks to the 30, the 35-40. Flag down, midfield. He has nobody to beat. He's going to score, but this one will come back. He is in the end zone. That would be a 78-yard touchdown run, but a flag down at the 30-yard line.
Flag came down as Harpool made his advancement down the left sideline.
You know, Harpool can run, and they could have actually called a couple of illegal blocks. They called the clip and about the 29-yard line. So with a penalty, they'll be starting this possession at the 14.
Sylvester Gray, 5'9" junior quarterback, will work this offense for the Purples.
Well, the Purples come up with a 1st and 10. The ball on their own 14-yard line. And the Red Dog defense of the Birds will be tested right away. And they come up in a broken bone formation. Harple now will go in motion. He gets the pitch around the right side. Room to the 20, 25 as he cuts back. First down to the 29-yard line. And that'll be a pickup of 15 yards. Damian Scope getting in there on the stop. He came all the way from his defensive end position to make the tackle.
Just trying to locate Dave Gaduli, our sideline guy, and I found him. Let's go down to Dave.
Yeah, we'll get to him after this play. At 1st and 10 on the 29-yard line, Bowling Green. The quarterback, Sylvester Gray. In motion, Harple again. He gets the delay up the middle, and he'll pick up about 3 or 4. And now we'll go down to Dave Gaduli.
Tim and Gary, they got a big break there on that clipping call because, you know, that guy was gone. As we said, when you kick like that, you got to fan out and keep your lanes. But, you know, I think the key, like Coach Mueller said, and Red Dog said today, is how well this Highlands defense responds against this Bowling Green team. They like to eat a lot of the clock. Back to you guys in the booth.
2nd and 6. Here's the fake the pitch. Gray's going to go over the middle. Pass is complete, I believe, to the 45-yard line as he hits Will Wade on an up and in. Another first down.
First down for the Purples at the 45. They're moving left to right. Clock 9:05 to go in the first quarter. This is the first series for Bowling Green. Highlands had it to open up the ball game and really couldn't do anything with it. And they had to punt it away on a 43-yard punt by Arnzen.
The Purples moving. Jarrell Lewis will line up to the near side. And one in the double wing formation. The fullback this time, Steve Spruill, will get the call. He'll get to midfield. Ben Pogue, the sophomore backer, bringing him down. And the ball will be placed, well, just shy of the 50-yard line. 2nd down and 6 on the 4-yard pickup.
Tim, Highlands normally plays the 4-4 attack defense. Right now, there's 6 men up on the line, really knowing that Bowling Green is going to predominantly run the football.
They've been in 2nd and 6 3 times now. Gray will put his running backs in the bone formation.
Wide tackle 6 for the Highlands line.
No wide receivers. Here's the pitch. This is Colton. And he'll be stopped shy of the first down. Danny Fennell coming up to make the stop, but they get inside Bird's territory to the 47-yard line, shy by 2 of the first down.
The Highlands defense has really been sensational. Dale Mueller just out on the field right now, just screaming at his football team, because Bowling Green, a very explosive football team. They have put up some numbers this year on the season. Bowling Green averaging over 36 points a ball game, only giving up 9.6.
Well, I'll tell you what's impressive. They're averaging 285 yards on the ground a game. Here's a 3rd down and 2. And they're going to give it to the fullback again. First down for Spruill. It gets inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Brought down there by Weinrich.
And also in there was Damian Scope.
Scope, he just looks like a football player. He's a complete-looking package.
He's got the size at 6'4", 210. You know, we were talking about that, I think, a couple of us earlier. All they need to do is put about 20, 30 pounds on Damian Scope.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be tough.
If they decide to keep him at linebacker.
Right.
1st and 10 now for the Purples. In motion, Colton. And the counter give up the middle will be to Harpool, and Weinrich will stop him, but he'll pick up 2 before he comes down.
That offensive line for Bowling Green, John Paul, Sherrill, and Ben Brunei, and Craig Malchow. I tell you what, those guys aren't big, but you mentioned, Tim Lewis, they're very quick, and they get off the ball very fast, and they're doing a good job right now, although that was a super play by Jason Weinrich to really catch the ball carrier almost as soon as he got the handoff.
Yeah, their center's actually their biggest guy, 6'2", 215, Craig Malchow. 2nd down and 8. The ball on the 37 of the Birds. Gray, looks like he's audibleizing. Split eye behind him. They go down the line of scrimmage, they're running the option. Gray's going to keep it. Still on his feet and brought down at about the 32. Flying out there to make the stop by Clayton Craig. He's got a lot of speed. Super play as he ran him down from behind on the pursuit. That brings up 3rd down now for the Bowling Green Purples. Clock with 6 minutes, 13 seconds to go, scoreless first quarter from Cardinal Stadium. Tim Lewis and Gary Ball, Dave Gaduli on the sidelines. Happy to bring you the 3A championship game. 3rd and 3. Here's the give. They're going to go straight up the gut. And they stop them. The Birds get in there. Scott Kuhnheim, Jason Weinrich making the stop together, and he picks up maybe a half yard. The length of the ball is all they're going to give him.
So we got a 4th down. Let's go down on the field, Tim, to Dave Gadulli and get a perspective from Dave.
Gary and Tim, Jason Weinrich's doing a great job staying low, getting good penetration. I'll tell you, this is a big test right now. So far, Bowling Green's mixed that pretty well, but the Highlands defense got to rise up right here and have a big play. Back to you in the booth.
Thank you, Dave. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 2. Harpool in motion and a fumble. They fumble the exchange, and the Birds hold. First down going the other way. The Birds will have first down as Gray could not handle the snap from Malkow.
You're exactly right. It was the exchange from Malkow to Sylvester Gray. Gray did pick it up, but by the time he picked it up, Tim Lewis, there were 4 or 5 Highlands players on top of him just to shellac him and knock him to the carpet. So Highlands takes over at the 32. They're moving right to left and the right with the blue. Bowling Green in the purple with the gold, as Tim Lewis said, looked like Notre Dame out there. And Highlands looks like Kentucky.
Clock running, 5:09 to play first quarter. No score. Second possession now for the Birds. And they're going to put Lickard in the slot. The tight end, Shearer, will go to the far side. Twin sets to the near side. Lone setback is Frisk. He gets the pitch. And he'll be hit at the line of scrimmage as the Bowling Green defense has read Frisk. They're really keying in on Justin Frisk. He had 313 yards last week against Leslie County, and they're not going to allow him to get outside this evening.
You know, Bowling Green had their scouts there for that Leslie County game with Highlands, and they saw the game Justin Frisk had it. They've come back and taken the approach that if they shut down number 46, they're going to win this football game, and I think that's where Highlands has to get a little bit more diversified here in their offense.
Bischoff to the near side. Randy Stegman will go to the far side. They're in the double wing. Lickard is the lone man in the backfield. They're going to run the option. And here's Johnson. Johnson will be stopped. Making the stop, Delvin Colton. Bowling Green has a lot of guys go both ways where Highlands does not, and you have to figure maybe late in the game that could prove to be a little bit of a factor. But you're talking a state championship game. I doubt it. He loses yardage, 3rd down and 11.
Colton, 6'3", 235. When we talked about it in the pregame, this guy can run. And normally those type of plays for Highlands with their speed works, but not against this very athletic and very fast Bowling Green ball club.
Twins to the far side on 2nd down. Ball on the 31-yard line. Pro set, Sauer. He's going to roll out, play action. Right side, looking to throw. He's going to go back cross field to the tight end. Ashley Frisk out of the backfield, and he'll get up to near the 35-yard line. That's still well short of the first down.
You know, a good idea there. Frisk could break that tackle, which he wasn't able to do. He might have been able to pick up the first down, but Sauer threw across his body back toward the middle of the field and completed to Justin Frisk. But again, Bowling Green right there on top of it to make a good play.
It's the 2nd, 3rd and out now for the Birds. They'll have to punt. We'll see Nate Arnson back in. He had a 43-yarder the first time, a beautiful punt. Harpool ran it back 78 yards for a touchdown, but a clipping call nullified it. So Arnson, who will kick again at about his 25. This time he aims away from Harpool. It'll bounce onto the 35, and it'll be Wade. He lets it bounce. The Birds will down it at the 25-yard line.
And I believe that was Pogue hustling down there to down it. Check it. It was not Pogue. It was, 47, and I don't see him on our roster.
Well, one of those sophomores getting in there. It's good to see them get in the game. But, put them on the roster, they don't get credit. Tim Lewis and Gary Ball at Cardinal Stadium in Louisville. 2:42 to go. First quarter, no score. Bowling Green now with their 2nd possession. And Gray's going to roll out, tackle from behind. A great stop. And guess who? Jason Weinrich.
And Tim, I'm not so sure that the quarterback, Sylvester Gray, wasn't going to pitch that football because he had behind him trailing Brian Harpool. And I tell you what, just another second, Weinrich makes a great play, but I think he pitches that ball, and I'm going to be on the carpet, and big break for Highlands, maybe a turnover. But the quarterback, Sylvester Gray, did a good job of tucking it in and just eating the football.
Picked up a couple, 2nd down and 8. The ball now on the 27-yard line. Bowling Green their own. Here's the pitch. Harpool around the left side this time. Jukes a couple of tackles, gets to the 30. Outside the 30 to the 33. Great move by Harpool. He'll pick up a good 6-7 yards. Brady Grimm using his speed to knock him down.
Be 3rd and short for the Bowling Green Purples. They'll need about 2 yards. And as Tim said, the clock winding down under 2 minutes here in the first quarter. No score. Bowling Green at Fort Thomas Highlands.
It's been a fast game. A lot of, I think we've only seen 2 passes here in the first quarter. Will Wade will line up to the near side, the only wide receiver. And a broken wishbone. The pitch is going to go to Harpool again. He'll have the first down over the 40 or 35 and knocked down at the 37-yard line.
I saw Pogue over there, one of the defenders. Weinrich, I believe, was hustling over there as well. And let's go down to Dave Gaduli. He's standing at about the, well, right now he's watching the play. Let's go down to Dave.
Gary and Timmy, Harpool's doing a good job of stringing the ball deep and getting the defense going one way, then cutting it back to the inside. And it looks like it's working right now. Back to you guys in the booth.
First down. They're going to run it up the middle again. Actually, great pitches. Falls on the carpet. Harpool chases it down and manages to make a bad play a positive one. As I tell you what, the ball was all the way back to almost the 25-yard line. He scoops it up and gets it forward to close to the 40.
Trailing the play was Maynard Johnson, and he was trying to make the play for the Bluebirds, but as you mentioned, Harpool able to make some substantial positive situation out of nothing as the ball was lost about 10 yards back, and Harpool able to get it up, pick up a couple. It's going to be second down on about 8 at the 38.5-yard line.
Clock running. We are at 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. Second down and 8. In motion, Harpool. And we're going to see a pass by Gray. He's hit as he throws, and it's overthrown. Intended for the tight end, Derek Kennedy. And Jason Woods back there defending. Actually, it was Grimm.
And Nathan Lindeman just lowered the boom on Sylvester Gray. He said, throw it if you can, and just really hit the quarterback of Bowling Green very hard as he came in. Nice play turned in by Nathan Lindeman, a sophomore for the Highlands defense, wearing number 65 tonight, doing a great job.
Not a starter, but he'll play a lot. I tell you what, Gray has an arm. Beautiful looking pass that time. Brings up third down, though. They need 8 for a first. They need to get to their own 47. Gray's going to throw again. Looking to set up. We got a flag down. Looked like he was trying to set up the screen. He'll be sacked. Weinrich in there. Let's see what the flag is.
I think it came in the vicinity of the offensive line of Bowling Green, so it should be holding. If I'm Highlands, I decline the penalty, get the football back. 19 seconds to go here in the scoreless first period, and they're talking to the Highlands captains. That usually means holding against the Purples, and Dale Mueller saying exactly what I just said. Decline the penalty, make them punt it, 4th and 8, we'll get the ball back.
Well, I tell you what, the players were pointing, like, push him back. The coach said, no, decline it. And I think the refs finally listened to reason. Coaches are, it's kind of like, you know, chess. The king outweighs the queen.
Exactly.
So the penalty will be declined, and we'll see a punt.
Tomorrow morning, we'll be broadcasting live from Louisville. The ball report will be 9 to 10 here on the score. We'll have a lot of the coaches from around the state be broadcasting from the lobby of the executive inn right across from Cardinal Stadium. Down to 6 seconds, Tim. I think we're just going to get this play off.
Here's the punt. DeMont Franklin. And Grimm will take it at the 27. It's on the carpet. Fumble, and I think Bowling Green has it. They do. Coming up with the football, Russ Miller. And Bowling Green will have a 1st and 10 on the Birds' 27.
Yeah, I was hoping the clock would wind down so that, you know, they'd have to punt it to start the second quarter and then the big turnover.
That's the end of the first quarter of play. No score. Pretty eventful first quarter. Keep it here. You're listening to the Kentucky High School State 3A Championship. The punt was fumbled by Brady Grimm, and they'll have possession. 1st and 10. And a dime up the middle. The fullback, Spruill, will get the call.
And it looked like Maynard Johnson was in there for the Bluebirds defense.
A little bit of a breeze, as we haven't mentioned much about the breeze on the carpet, but breeze coming across the field hasn't seemed to bother the teams yet. One wide receiver, here's the pitch. It's going to be Colton around the right side. Breaks a couple of tackles, and it'll get to the 20. Stays in bounds. And he'll pick up, that's about a 5-yard pickup, so 3rd down and 3.
It was Danny Fennell over there for the Bluebirds defense to make the stop, Tim Lewis, as we start the second quarter of action. No score. Bowling Green started, of course, on the fumble by Grimm at the 26, 27-yard line, and now they have it 3rd, and they need about 3.5 for the 1st down.
The ball is just on the 20-yard line. Far hash mark. And they bring everybody tight. 2 tight ends on the wishbone. And they're going to give it to the second man through. That is Harpool. He bounces forward. I think he has the 1st down to about the 14.
Yes, he has it, I believe, about a yard or so. 1st down for the Purples of Bowling Green. And the officials are going to stop the clock, I think, to measure for, but that should be academic. He has him about a half a yard. 10:40 to go in the first half, no score.
Earlier here at Cardinal Stadium, it was Beechwood falling 28-27. Very tight game. They go for 2 instead of the tie and lose.
A little over a minute to go. Mike Cagle made the call. I think it was the correct call. Dustin Jones was wide open.
Purples get the first down, and we have another fumble. The Birds might have it. I think they do.
Yes, I think they do too, Tim Lewis.
Well, the Purples say no, and they do.
Yeah, Highlands has it. Bluebird football. I tell you, very late call by the officials.
Well, there was a big pile. There's about 20 people on top of that pile.
I know we do have Dave Gaduli down on the carpet here, and I'm trying to locate the guru.
He's lost in a mass of humanity down there. Well, that's good news. One turnover deserves another, and the Birds will get the ball at their own 17, 1st and 10, so they dodge a big bullet there.
He's underneath the goalpost over there, Tim. See him standing underneath the goalpost above the S in the Louisville?
We'll get to him in a minute. Stegman on the far side. They split the back. Sauer fakes the pitch and hands it off. Lickard will be hit at the line of scrimmage. No play. No gain at all. Russ Miller making the stop. He's the nose guard.
Also in there was John Paul Sherrill, but I tell you, there's just nothing there running the football against Bowling Green, at least so far in this football game.
Well,
they have been outstanding, and we knew their defense was tough, and it has lived up to its billing here so far.
You look at the first quarter stats, total yards, Bowling Green 67, Highlands with 2 total yards. That, you know, that backs up what you just said. Twin set will come to the near side. Actually, almost a trips formation as they put Lickard in the slot. And Frisk, he wants to throw. He's going to go downfield. Bischoff, it's intercepted, and a flag down.
Yeah, we do have a flag down, and I tell you what, the intended receiver, as you mentioned, to the near side of the field.
Blake McCord, I think it might be offensive interference.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact there, and Bowling Green saying, we've got the football. I think Harpole picked it off. The All-State defensive back, Harpole, with the pick, and it's going to be Bowling Green football. And Tim, you know, time and time again, when you play a good football team, you give them the ball deep in your own territory. They started their last drive at the 27. The Highlands got the fumble recovery. Now you give it to them deep in your territory. You just don't know how many times you can keep turning away a quality team like Bowling Green. They're starting at the Highlands 38-yard line. Bowling Green is going right to left with 9:14 to go in the first half. Defensive struggle so far.
First down. And the wishbone behind Sylvester Gray, the 5'9 junior. They're going with motion to the far side. Gray is going to have the first down, almost breaks it over the 25 and down to the 22-yard line. That's a big pickup.
16 yards on the pickup by the quarterback, Sylvester Gray. And I tell you, the play was made, Tim, by the fake into the belly of the fullback, and then Gray rolled out to the right with that speed, at 4.5 speed. He was able to get outside and pick up 16 yards down to the 22. First down, Bowling Green.
A lot of first downs being racked up by the Purples. They go back to the tight formation, the wishbone, and the second man through his Harpool makes a couple of breaks a couple of tackles, gets inside the 20. Clayton Craig, Jason Weinrich making the stop. He'll pick up about 3.
Ben Pogue was in there as well. You mentioned, I tell you, the Highlands defense has been sensational in the playoffs, and second down and 7, and they have really, you know, it's one of those old cliches, Tim. They've been, but they haven't broken against this Bowling Green offense.
Brings up a second down and 7 on the 19-yard line. And inside the 20, they'll stay in the bone. Again, the motion to the right. And this time they stop him. Gray just took too much time to get the play underway. Everybody in there, including Andy Raker, the 6'3 junior, who just rode Gray to the ground. Damian Scope also in there.
Gary, so far that defense for Highlands has been, but it's not broken. They're coming up with the big plays when they have to. If they hold them here, the defense did a great job. They're going to have to get their offensive machine rolling here and on the next series. Back up to you, Tim and Gary in the booth.
All right, Dave, thanks. Will Way to the near side. They've broken the bone. And we're going to see Gray roll out left side. He's being forced. It's going over the middle of the tight end. It's caught. Touchdown, Bowling Green. Derek Kennedy with a 21-yard touchdown catch from Sylvester Gray.
And he was very close to going over the line of scrimmage before he threw that football. He had ran quite a bit, and he must have just been shy of the line of scrimmage, but he found his big target, 6'5", Derek Kennedy, the All-State player, and Kennedy did the rest, and Bowling Green scores first with 7:35 to go in the first half.
Wade will attempt the extra point. Franklin will hold. Snap looks good, little low. The hold okay. The kick is good. 7:35 to go. First half, 7-0 Bowling Green over Highlands. You're listening to the Kentucky High School State 3A Championship. And welcome back. Kennedy catches the touchdown and he kicks off. And this one's just going to be a squib kick. Doesn't put anything into it. And the Birds will get it at the 30-yard line, their own, 1st and 10. Let's pause 10 seconds to allow our stations to identify themselves. You're listening to the Kentucky High School State 3A Championship.
Salt Cincinnati, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky, 107.
It's 1st down and 10. The ball on the 31. The Birds have it. Twin sets to the near side. They've split the backs behind Sauer. He's going to roll out. He wants to throw. He's being chased. He pitches it on a shuffle pass. 35-yard line. Licker to the 40. Over the 40 to the 44. And Steve Lickert will have a 1st down. I believe that's the Bluebirds' first.
What great improvisation of P.J. Sauer, the little quarterback for Highlands. He says, hey, there's no way I'm going to throw this ball. Just shovel it to my guy, Lickert. He took it up to the 44-yard line. Nice pickup. Great heads-up play by P.J. Sauer, the junior quarterback.
I tell you, game MVPs are made through ingenuity and sometimes adrenaline and sometimes fear. They come out in the same formation. They split the back. Sauer is going to give it to Frisk. Frisk over midfield to the 45. Bluebirds with another 1st down as they're in Bowling Green territory now to the 44 of the Purples. Derek Kennedy making the stop.
Tim, it seems like since Kennedy hauled that pass in over the middle and took it for the touchdown, that's inspired this Highlands offense. The offensive line is really blowing off the ball a lot better right now. Travis Adams, Chad Brown, Brandon Bush, Toby Landon, Scott Kunine doing a much better job up front than they were the previous series for the Bluebirds offense.
3 wide receivers now, and they've put the backs in the 9 formation. Sauer is going to give it on the draw to Frisk. Frisk this time breaks a tackle. They had him in the backfield. He'll break a couple and get out to the 41, so he picks up 3 yards.
John Paul Sherrill, big 6'2", 225. He's very upset with himself because he had Justin Frisk stop for about a 5-yard loss. He let him get out of that, and man, he was livid with himself when he looked upfield and saw Justin Frisk make about a 4-yard gain out of that.
I'll tell you why these two teams are championship caliber teams. They're making adjustments. The Highlands offense right now is making a lot of adjustments. Here comes the pitch. Frisk this time on the short side of the field. They'll rack him up and send him out of bounds. Kennedy again leading the defense.
Yeah, and I tell you, he was out there in a hurry, wasn't he, Tim? I mean, that guy, you talk about 6'5", 245, getting out there as quick as he did on that play. That's a D1 player right there waiting to happen.
Yeah, Kennedy is going to be a massive player in college somewhere. I don't know who's looking at him. We ought to see if we can't find out something at halftime. But I guarantee you, whoever gets this kid is going to be very lucky. He can do everything.
I think Dave Gaduli mentioned Kansas and Kansas State both have scouts here tonight.
3rd down and long, 3rd down and 8 to be specific. The ball is on the 42-yard line of Bowling Green. And the Birds in the pro set. Here comes the reverse. And I don't think it's going to work. It does not. In fact, they lose yardage all the way back to the 46. And that is Maynard Johnson, their speedster. Chris Glass, first time we've called his name tonight, and the nose guard, Russ Miller, making the stop.
So I tell you, it looked like the Highlands offense had things rolling, but then all of a sudden the Bowling Green Purple defense reared their ugly heads and said, you're not going anywhere. So it's 4th and long. Highlands will have to punt it away to the Purples with just 4 minutes and 33 seconds to go in the first half. 7-0. Bowling Green on top on a touchdown pass from Gray to Derek Kennedy.
Arns in the punt. He'll let it go at about the 45. Get a little bit of a rush by Blewett, and they let it bounce. It bounces inside the 5 and into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Tell you what, I mean, he did everything he could to try to get that ball to go out of bounds, and it almost did. We'll try to go down the sidelines in our next play. It's 1st and 10 for Bowling Green on their own 20. And the give straight up the middle to the fullback. Spruill will get a couple of yards. Weinrich again on the tackle. Let's go down to the sidelines and Dave Gaduli.
Gary and Tim, I'll tell you one thing, it's a good Bowling Green football team. They're real good at the fundamentals of blocking and tackling. Highlands is having trouble running up inside against them. I'll tell you what, they're going to have to play a tough game to beat them. I'll tell you that right now. Bowling Green's got a good football team. Back to you guys.
Second down and 8 on the 22. Here comes the blitz, and it works somewhat. You just can't get Harpool down. Weinrich grabbed him at the line of scrimmage as he went by and basically looked like a flag in the wind.
But I tell you what, we're certainly seeing why Jason Weinrich came into this game with as many tackles as he has. 158 coming into this game. He's already been
That's obscene.
That's obscene. He's already been in on 7 or 8 plays in this ball game at least.
Unbelievable amount. Third down and 5 as Harpool picked up 3 on that last play. They've broken the bone and have somebody in the slot. Harpool in motion. He'll get the pitch around the right side. He'll have the first down to the 30, 35, 40, 45, knocked down. We have a flag in the backfield. I tell you, a game-saving tackle, a touchdown-saving tackle. Brady Grimm and Maynard Johnson.
But you know, Brian Harpool's got to be shaking his head coming back. He takes the kick, 78 yards for the touchdown. The flag brings that back. He makes a great run, almost breaks it for 6. The flag breaks it. He's going to go back to the huddle and say, guys, do you think if I break one off that we can not, actually do it legal? He's got to be pretty upset right now.
You know he's upset. The ball is going to be all the way back to the 14. Third down and 16. They need to get to the 30. And Gray's going to throw a delayed draw, actually, quarterback draw, and Weinrich, Mr. Everything for the Birds defense, drops him.
I tell you what, Jason Weinrich, at 5'11", 190 pounds, Tim Lewis, is pound for pound one of the best football players you're going to... I mean, here's a guy, 5'11", 190 pounds. He's already just been a man out there in this state championship game. He's been in on probably 9, 10 plays already.
Yeah, he's nearing 10 tackles already. We're going to have a punt by Franklin and Grimm. And Maynard Johnson back to receive it. Grimm is going to take it at the 45. He fumbled it last time and just falls on it this time.
Yeah, that time he did the heads-up thing. He saw the ball was going low on him, so he just dove and tucked it into his body, making sure he did not fumble, because that fumble was key, of course, to end the first quarter, the last play of the first quarter when Brady Grimm fumbled.
Well, he likes to catch it in his hands. He's one of those guys that likes to catch the ball, keep it away from his pads. You're always taught as a receiver, don't let that ball get near your pads. And the last time, it bit him in the foot. This time, he almost dropped it again. All right, 1st and 10 for the Birds. They have the ball on the Bowling Green 46. 3 wide receivers. Sauer's going to throw on first down. Looking over the middle, and he's going to have to tuck it in. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe picks up a half yard. It won't be a sack.
That's a coverage play right there. That's a coverage. You mentioned won't be a sack, but that's all coverage by Bowling Green. Mr. Sauer had nowhere to throw the football. And a heads-up play by a guy who's only starting in his 3rd football game, really playing as a varsity player, and to throw that ball up for grabs in the state championship.
Well, I'll tell you, this will be a big kickoff for his season next year. He'll be the man next year at 5'10", a little undersized, but he's leading this team. 2nd down and 9 after the yard pickup. Here comes the counter play. And this time, a little bit of room. Frisk will move it out to about the 37. That looked pretty good. Frisk being brought down by Will Wade and blew it. But he'll pick up a good 8 yards. Let's go down to the field and Dave Gaduli.
Gary, let me tell you something. Justin Frisk going to have a hard time getting the corner on them. They got great pursuit. Their defense, real good defense. They get good penetration, and they have a good job when it's strong side of getting there, when it's weak side away from the play. The Highlands going to have to go in at the half.
The Highlands Bluebirds take the time out there as the clock is almost under a minute. I'd like to see them get down and put something on the board. Bischoff can't hit it. Dale Mueller says they get inside the 30. They're in distance. Here comes the counter again. A mix-up in the backfield and a sack. I tell you, J.P. Sherrill has been all over the field tonight. He'll make the stop on Sauer in the backfield. About the 43 is where the ball will be placed.
That's why it's so important, Tim Lewis, for a quarterback to get back as quick as he can, because Mr. Sauer never saw John Paul Sherrill coming after him, and John Paul just lunged out, grabbed him around the ankles, tripped him up just enough to knock him to the carpet here. Brings up 4th down. Big play by John Paul Sherrill.
Well, and of course, Bowling Green's going to go into the prevent defense as we see the spread offense come out for the Bluebirds with 28 seconds to go. You know they're going to be throwing. Here comes a blitz on the outside. Kennedy is going to have a free shot. Sauer going over the middle. Bischoff has it at the bow. He incomplete. They believe that's a complete and then a fumble, but he dropped it. They do. They gave him the completion and a fumble.
Yeah, and Highlands was able to recover it. Highlands was able to jump on it, and it was Stegman, I believe, who pounced on it there.
At
or was it Blake McCord?
15-yard line. Dave Gaduli, tell us what happened. Cardinal Stadium is the site, Louisville. Tim Lewis, Gary Ball, Dave Gaduli. Here's the first and 10 from the 15-yard line. 15 seconds to go. Sauer looking to throw. He's going to go into the corner of the end zone, and he throws it out of bounds. Good decision.
Well, they still have 10 seconds, Tim, so they still have a chance. They're going to call a timeout. So we're going to take a quick break. Timeout on the field. 7-0 Bowling Green leads. You're listening to the Kentucky High School 3A State Championship. We'll be back.
So they either have to score or it has to be an incomplete pass, because that time is going to actually, they won't have time to kick a field goal unless they score.
Yeah, they're going to go for one in the end zone, and if it's incomplete, try to line it up with a field goal.
That's what they'll have to do. 4 wide receivers, trips to the near side. Sauer rolling out. He's going to go into the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown. Justin Frisk.
How about that, Tim Lewis? 10 seconds to go. Gutsy call. Del Mueller could have said, hey, let's just kick the field goal, go in happy, 7-3. But no, Highlands on the great pass from Sauer to Frisk. And a PAT here, and they're going to the locker room tied 7-7.
Well, you got a little thing of a PAT here, but Bischoff has been automatic all year. Frisk, just about a yard inside the end zone, caught that ball. Sauer with some heads-up moves. He almost took that in. Baioni to hold. The kick is going to be no good. Bischoff, however, he was run into by Sherrill. No flag. Bischoff, I tell you what, that should be a roughing the kicker, and they don't call it. We're going to see Scott Kuhnheim kick. Bischoff's leg is ailing, so Kuhnheim just going to squib it up the middle, and they'll down it. Kennedy will jump on it at the 41.
As soon as, excuse me, Tim, as soon as his knee touched, they stopped the clock. It's only 1 second went off the clock.
Yeah, 31 actually is where they'll put it down. 3 seconds to go. That means we'll have to have a play. It's been an exciting first half, 7-6, the score, and now they start the clock, and that'll be the end of the first half. We've played a full half, and it's been exciting. 7-6, Bowling Green will take the 1-point lead into the locker room at Cardinal Stadium. I'm Tim Lewis with Gary Ball, Dave Gaduli, Matthew Mason, the injured quarterback for the Bluebirds, will join us here at halftime. Keep it here. You're listening to the Kentucky High School State 3A Championship.
Real quick look at the halftime stats. Highlands made up some of that deficit in total yardage. It's 120 total yards for Bowling Green, 73 for Highlands. Kuhnheim is still going to kick here in the second half. And this time he, kicks it about the 15-yard line is where Harpool will take it to the 20, 25, 30. Brought down to the 35-yard line. And you name it.
It was Jason Woods, Jr., making the tackle there for the kicking team. So that's not a good sign there. You mentioned the fact Kuhnheim kicking off again. I hope that's nothing serious to Bischoff, because he has an outstanding leg. I mean, he can kick a field goal from 40, 45 yards. I mean, he need that in this ball game.
Harpool in the first half had 42 yards rushing. Gray throwing 2 of 3 for 33 yards. First and 10 from the 35. Here's the option. Gray's going to keep it. Ben Pogue will knock him down after a pickup of about 3.
You know, that's what the Highlands defense is all about, Tim Lewis. Pursuit defense, attack defense. That time Pogue chased Sylvester Gray down the line, caught him from the side, and Sylvester Gray, you know, normally a young man with great speed that's going to turn that into about a 10 or 15-yard situation. He only gains 2 yards on a great play by Ben Pogue.
Let's see how the defense reacts. I mean, this, both teams, very complicated, complex type offense. Second down and 9 on the 37. Here's the draw, another pitch. Harpool is going to have some room down the sideline. He'll get knocked out of bounds, I believe, at about the 49-yard line. Maynard Johnson, about the only one that can keep up with Harpool. Scope also trailing the play. And the Purples get a first down.
Of course, Harpool, the young man that electrified the Bowling Green crowd with that 78-yard kick return that was called back because of the clipping penalty. And then, of course, he almost broke one late in the first half, and that was called back because of a penalty.
Very similar to the first possession of the first half for Bowling Green, as they just drove all the way downfield before finally getting stopped. Second man through, this time it's Colton. Colton still on his feet to the 30, or actually the 43-yard line. Not enough for a first down, but he picks up 7. Brady Grimm, the junior safety, making the stop.
So Bowling Green trying to reestablish themselves after Frisk caught the touchdown pass late in the first half to get Highlands right back in it. And then a great play by John Paul Sherrill to block. I mean, there's no question Sherrill got a hand on that kick by Highlands. Of course, he got a lot of Mr. Bischoff as well.
And Bischoff, of course, is their kicker. He could be important in this game. He's not kicking off right now. Second down and 2. Basically a free play. Gray is going to be leveled. Lindemann, Nathan Lindemann, just leveled him at the 42. No gain on the play.
I bring up third down and short for the Purples, going right to left.
Scope a little shaken up. He's going to come off. Shaking his head a little bit. It might have just, you really can't tell. His bell rung, I think. Maybe got poked in the eye. That's what he's looking at. Here's a third and short play. The ball on the 42. Second man through. Harpole easily has the first down. Still on his feet to the 35. And will go out of bounds to the 34-yard line. That is a 7-yard pickup.
I tell you, did you see the speed of Harp? Wes Adams for Highlands, number 28, was barreling, and then just the last moment, Harpole just broke it out, pinballed outside like a pinball or something, and made a very good gain. Matter of fact, got the first down to the 34-yard line of Highlands. First and 10, Bowling Green, 9:41 to go in the third. 7-6, your score.
And they're back in the wishbone. Gray will align them. Double tight end. Here's the pitch. Harpole to the 30, still on his feet to the 25. Inside the 25. Actually, Colton that time on the carry. He's the big one. 6'3", 235. And he is quick.
Yeah, he's being recruited by a lot of people, in particular University of Kentucky, Western Kentucky University, just about everybody looking at this guy. He played in last year's state championship game and stepped up big for Bowling Green, but just wasn't enough.
Going to measure for the first down. It's very close. I think he does have it. That'll put the ball on the 24-yard line. Scope is back in. They're going to need him.
And all of his 23 sacks. Thank you.
They need his quickness. 6'4", 210, and he can move for a defensive lineman. Again, the wishbone. Gray fakes the dive and will hand to Harpole on this. He spins inside the 20-yard line. What they do is they fake the dive to the fullback, and Harpole trailing. Weinrich again with the stop.
How many times have you called his name tonight already?
He easily is in doubles and tackles. I'm still amazed at the 158 all year. That's unheard of. The most I ever had in one season was only about 102. He's a lot better than me, though. Here's Colton. Colton to the 10. And inside the 10-yard line, another first down, and Bowling Green is just making munch meat, or lunch meat, whatever you want to call it, out of the Highlands defense right now.
Yeah, what's happening now, Tim, is the Bowling Green offensive line, which was very strong and very steady in the first quarter, as you said, sort of wore down. You mentioned the depth factor and fatigue factor, wore down a little bit in the second quarter, but now they've had the 15-minute respite, of course, at halftime, coming out reasserting
themselves here in the third quarter.
First and goal. The give is going to be to Harpole up the middle. Touchdown. The Purples with Brian Harpole, the 5'9" senior, a 10-yard jaunt up the middle, and it's 13-6.
And that offensive line was superb for Bowling Green. Russ Miller,
John Moran, Craig Malkow, John Paul Sherrill, Ben Bruni, they were just sensational. I mean, basically, Mr. Harpole went into the end zone untouched. He was not touched. He got about 5 yards into the end zone.
Wade will be on to attempt the extra point. This would give them an 8-point lead. Snap is there. The kick this time is good. 8:32 to go, third quarter. It's Bowling Green 14, Fort Thomas Highlands 6. You're listening to the Kentucky High School State 3-8 hymn. Kickoff by Kennedy again, not a very deep one. Gives the Bluebirds fairly decent field position at the 33. yard line.
8:30 to go in the third quarter, so the Purples of Bowling Green come out. Hartwell with the TD, and now they lead 14-6. Once again, Tim Lewis, the Highlands Bluebirds are going to have to come back after they cut it down to 7-6 at halftime. A little bit more deficit now.
Well, we talked to Mason at halftime, the injured quarterback. He said, they're going to be throwing here in the second half. Frisk is going to line up in the slot, so trip to the near side. Bowling Green adjust their defense. 4 wide receivers, now everybody out of the backfield. Sauer steps up, and he's hit. J.P. Sherrill has been everywhere for the Purple.
Yeah, he is really. You talk about a young man that's come to play tonight in this state championship. He blocked the Bischoff PAT, and he has been in on numerous plays, and that was a big play there, throwing Sauer for about a 6-yard loss to be 2nd and 16.
Well, they got all their wide receivers in. And that time, I think Frisk has been open a lot, but they haven't seen him. They're going to go to the spread offense. Frisk is the only one in the backfield. 4 wide receivers. Sauer to throw. Over the middle. Tries to get it to Bischoff. It bounces on the carpet and incomplete.
Yeah, and again, pressure being put on by the Purples of Bowling Green as they get on top of Sauer before he can really set up Tim and get the feet, comfortable and lay the ball in there.
See, they need to get a first down and put a couple of together. Even if they don't get down there and score, they need to get a couple of first downs and try to get this more of a better field position game here in the third quarter. They did this in the first half, too. The first 2 possessions were 3 and out. Didn't allow themselves or their defense a lot of room.
What a game it was in the AA game, won by Breathitt County in double overtime, 42-35. And Beechwood, of course, the heartbreak, really big-time heartbreak loss, 28-27.
Big third down play. Sauer's rolling out. He has a little bit of room. He's going to go downfield. It's almost caught by Jason Stegman. A little bit high for him. He was double covered. And we'll see a punt.
So 3 and out for the Bluebirds here. And it will give the Purples very good field position.
And Harpool and Will Wade will drop back deep to receive this punt. And you certainly hope that the Highlands defense has been sensational in the playoffs, can really rise to the occasion now, Tim, down 14-6.
Arnson will receive the snap. He'll kick it at the 20, almost blocked. Gets off a pretty good punt. Wade will let it bounce. It'll go out of bounds at the 45. And now the official says 47, so there they have it, their own 47.
John Paul Sherrill, again, in the backfield for Highlands, almost blocked that punt. And John Paul Sherrill's been outstanding for the Purples of Bowling Green, of course, out of Western Kentucky, one of 3 Western Kentucky teams in the state championships. Of course, earlier today, Mayfield out of Western Kentucky as they beat Beechwood, and then Franklin Simpson, who went down to Breathitt County 42-35 in the AA game in double overtime.
1st and 10 for the 47. Harpool will take the handoff straight up the middle. No, they're going to give about a yard. Brian Harpool straight up the gut.
Looked like Weinrich was in on the play once again, Tim, and also in there for the Bluebirds of Fort Thomas Highlands was Scott Kuhnheim. 6:48 to go in the third. Bowling Green 2nd down at the 48-yard line, moving right to left on your radio dial.
And the Purples lead 14-6. Down the line again on the option. Gray holds it out, flag down, and he was holding that like a loaf of bread.
Yep.
And very dangerous.
You're exactly right, Tim. If the Highlands player would have been up there just a little bit quicker and been able to put a pop on Sylvester Gray, no doubt he would have lost that football. It's going to be holding against the Purples. Now to move them back. But the Highlands defense really, even though this ball they're trailing 14-6, I think their defense has played pretty solid here tonight. I really do.
Well, outside of 2 long drives, that last drive was 9 plays. And how many yards there? 64 yards. They ate up almost 3.5 minutes.
Mike Welch, our crack statistician.
A lot of first downs. I think they had 4 or 5 first downs also in that drive. Did a great job.
The penalty will move it back inside the 40, and that'll bring up 2nd down and along 17, Tim Lewis, with 6:33 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, they need to get to the Bluebirds' 42-yard line. Actually, just inside the 43-yard line. And they'll do a little spread of their own. Gray's going to roll out right side of the play action. He's going to go over the middle. It's incomplete. intended for Kennedy, but bounced about 5 yards in front of him.
Yeah, and good defense there by the Bluebirds, and in particular, it was Toby Ladd. Toby Ladd, the 6', 225-pounder, who was in pursuit of Sylvester Gray. And actually, that's one of those that really doesn't show up a lot in the stats, Tim, but it's a big play, causing him to throw the football a lot quicker than he probably desired to.
And Perkins, we haven't called Aaron Perkins' name a lot, but he's been involved in a lot of plays tonight, the senior defensive lineman. And we need to give him some credit. He's really been in the face of Gray a lot on the outside. 3rd down at 17. In motion is Colton. And again, we got another flag down. Gray's going to go downfield, overthrows Kennedy again. Immediately, that flag was thrown by the referee as soon as the ball was snapped. And we have the illegal participation. That'll be loss of down.
Right, so the Bluebirds will get the ball back with 6:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. They're down by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, 14-6 for this Bowling Green Ball Club, who comes in 14-0. Tim Lewis, ranked #1 in the state, and they knocked off Hopkinsville in the playoffs. And Hopkinsville's the team that beat Leslie County and Tim Couch 61-0. How about that?
They beat Hopkinsville. Are you sure Hopkinsville beat them 61-0?
No, Bowling Green beat Hopkinsville. Hopkinsville beat Leslie County in the regular season 61-0.
Impressive.
Here's the punt. It's a little low, almost blocked. It'll take a Bluebird bounce. One of the linemen down there did not see it. It almost hit him. And again, J.P. Sherrill's everywhere. He down that punt.
But not a heads-up play by John Paul Sherrill. He should let the ball roll around because it looked like it was going to hit a Highlands player, and then it's a free football. Because there was, as you mentioned, there was a Highlands player right there. It was number 28 for Highlands, Wes Adams, and the ball almost hit him. John Paul Sherrill hugs the ball, grabs it, jumps on the ground. If he lets it hit Wes Adams, it's a free football.
6:05 to play, 3rd quarter, 14-6. Bowling Green over Highlands. And the Birds have the ball on their own 36-yard line. Randy Stegman, like to see this kid get the football. He's a good receiver. He's only a sophomore. His brother Jason also in the game. They're going to send trips to the far side and Stegman to the near side by himself. Frisk alone in the backfield. He'll stay in the block, and Sauer trying to get it complete on the outside. Intended, I believe, for Brannick, and it's incomplete.
That's a very difficult pass there, Tim, because, you know, even though he's rolling to the left a little bit, that's still a hard pass to throw on the run. He bounced that one up there, short-hopped it to his intended receiver. That's a very difficult pass to go with. I'd like to see, as Dave Gaduli mentioned, who's down on the field, I'd like to see Highlands go to some more screens over the middle, maybe look for the tight end a little bit more.
The receivers in are Bischoff, McCord, Stegman, and Brannick. And they better hurry to get this one on. Frisk is the lone running back in the backfield. And he gets the call. The fumble. Fumble, and guess who? J.P. Sherrill and Sauer fighting for it.
Sauer, I think, got back on it, Tim, but that was a poor exchange. I'll tell you what happened. It was a situation where quarterback Sauer should have just ate the football because Frisk was already by him, and he still went ahead trying to shove the ball up into his gut and let him run it up the middle. And he was, as you said, alertly jumping on the football, but it'll be 3rd down and 10 now for the Bluebirds.
You know, this is only the 2nd game that P.J. Sauer has started, and given everything, he's done an admirable job.
No doubt, during the state championship.
Trips to the far side. Frisk is going to get the call on a trap play, and nowhere. J.P. Sherrill and Chris Glass making the stop. Russ Miller, the nose guard, also in there, and we'll have a punt.
There is just nothing there against this Bowling Green defense if you're trying to run the ball up the middle. We've seen time and time again Highlands run the ball up the middle instead of maybe quick pitches for sweeps or something like that. And every time they've run it up the middle, Tim Lewis, Bowling Green has been there with 3 or 4 defenders.
Arns in the punt. Wade back deep, as is Harple. They've come close to blocking it a couple of times. Here comes J.P. Sherrill again. The kick. Harple's going to let it bounce and probably could have saved himself 10 yards. The flag is down. The ball will be out of bounds at about the 25. The flag is down at about the 33.
That's right there in front of our guy, Dave Gaduli, who's standing down on the field, and he's assessing the situation, Tim Lewis, and we might go down to him and see if he knows what happened.
Gary, there's an argument on whose ball it is. I think Highlands didn't get the ball. 23 says on the exchange that it wasn't. We're going to have to wait and see.
how they rule on this. I'll tell you one thing. They need something to change the pace of this game and get them going here on offense.
Well, let me ask you, how could it be Highlands football?
Bait right now.
It's interference.
Push it into the kick.
Okay. So that's how it could be. That clears that up.
Now, then we got a clipping call against Bowling Green. That is weird.
Yeah. Well, what that could happen is, of course, that could give them the first down as well.
Clipping against Bowling Green. This to be honest, Gary, I've never seen it, but there's a lot of discussion down in the infield. I know neither side's happy.
Now they're bringing the ball back to the original line of scrimmage.
Dan Haley's already out. He's way out middle of the field talking to the officials, coach of Bowling Green.
What are they going to do? Re-kick this thing? Actually, I think they're going to give them the interference call is going to give the Bluebirds the first down.
Yeah,
and then...
Yeah. It'll be a 15-yard variety. Excuse me, Tim. It'll take it to midfield. It will be the automatic first down. So Highlands catches a big break here, down 14-6 here with 4:21 to go in the third quarter. Highlands in their white with the blue pants, the white helmets with the blue H, Bowling Green in the purple jerseys, gold pants, gold helmets a la Notre Dame. And it's first down. As a matter of fact, the nose of the football in Bowling Green territory. Here comes Sauer and company.
4:21 to play, third quarter, 14-6 Bowling Green. Frisk is going to line up in a slot. Lickard is in the backfield. Here comes the trap on the counter dive, and Frisk is going to get forward for about 2 yards. Chris Glass has been making a lot of plays here in the last couple of quarters.
Yeah, Glass was in there that time, and he was outstanding as Frisk cut it back, and you said on the inside, trapped it back inside, and Frisk was tripped up and was able to lunge forward for a couple of yards, brings up 2nd and 8. Highlands has it at the 47 of Bowling Green, going left to right as we look out on the carpet here at Cardinal Stadium.
This time they'll split the wide receivers, one to each side. Now Lickard will line up in a slot. Unbalanced to the left side. Sauer's going to throw. He's going to go long, and he overthrows McCord. Out of bounds. Harpool was defending on the play, and that was just a good choice by Sauer to throw it out of bounds.
It's probably a good thing, Tim Lewis, that he overthrew the football as far as he did, because I think Harpool's got a pick there. Harpool's an all-state defensive back, and he was barreling down on that one. I think he would have had a pick if Sauer would have thrown the ball better than he did. He threw it way out of bounds.
So bring up a 3rd down and 7.
Of course, Dave Gaduli on the sidelines will talk with Dale Mueller, win or lose after the ball game here tonight.
Right now they're losing 14-6. We're still in the third, 3.5 to play. 3 wide receivers this time. And this time Sauer's going to roll out straight into the arms of Kennedy, who grabbed him by the foot, and then coming in to finish him is Chad Wilson, the defensive tackle.
Yeah, I mean, Sauer's, 5'10", and then you look up and Derek Kennedy, 6'5", 245. Sauer's given up about 75 pounds, about 6-7 inches, and big Derek Kennedy just lowered the boom on him.
And that's almost 80 pounds he's given up. Well, we got a punt. The Birds will kick. Arnzen has been in he's going to have a leg cramp. Snap is good. He's going to angle this one. It's going to go out of bounds. Wow. I don't think he wanted to angle it that much.
No, let's see what the official marks it. He's going to mark it at the 28-yard line, Tim. So Bowling Green will have it 1st and 10, and that could have been a situation there where Highlands could have really backed the Purples up, but as you mentioned, the kick went way out of bounds to the near side, and the official give Bowling Green a generous mark, though, at the 28. I thought it should have been more about the 22.
Actually, I think they were lucky. That ball went out of bounds, way upfield, and sailed, 15 yards out of bounds. They could have really moved it up to the 40.
You like the mark?
I think the mark's very... I'll take that mark if I'm a Bluebird. Here's the 1st and 10. And in the backfield, Lindemann again in a fumble, and the Birds get it. Ben Pogue, the sophomore linebacker. You know, you run the misdirection and the option a lot, and as many times as that football changes hands, you're going to put the ball on the carpet.
Good point, Tim Lewis. You live by it, you're going to die by it. Right now, the Bowling Green Purples are going to die by it. Ben Pogue with the recovery for the Bluebirds.
Let's go to Dave Gaduli.
Gary, big fumble recovery by Ben Pogue, former son of Hank Pogue, who played at Indiana, played for Owen House. That was a big play recovery. Gary, I got some news later to tell you and Tim that's going to shock you, but I'll tell you later.
Why not now?
1st down. because we're going back to a live action. Sauer over the middle. Is it caught? I think it's a caught ball, and it's Randy Stegman, the sophomore wide receiver. When he's a senior, colleges are going to be lining up at his door. And the Bluebirds with a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line.
Randy, 6 foot, 160 pounds. Not a real big guy, but I tell you what, there aren't a better pair of hands in the state of Kentucky than Randy Stegman, the sophomore wideout behind. He makes a super catch. It sets the Bluebirds up 1st and goal at the 7 of Bowling Green. 2 minutes in the 3rd.
And we have the T formation now, right behind Sauer. They're going to just dive it straight up the middle. Frisk will get to the 5. Bluebirds fans finally having something to cheer about. The band going nuts. Russ Miller. The nose guard making the stop. Of course, they go up the middle. The nose guard ought to make the stop.
He's right there. That's his spot.
They'll call it the nose for nothing. That's a hell of a position to play, too. The nose guard is a mean position to play.
I'm shocked that this is the first time, minute 22 to go in this ballgame, that you talked about the nose tackle.
Well, I know. 2nd down and goal. Sauer wants to throw it. He's looking into the end zone. Back of the end zone segment. Touchdown, Birds.
I tell you what, a cool customer. Sauer, the junior quarterback, waited, bought his time. Found Stegman in back of the end zone. Fired a beautiful ball. Stegman pulled it in. A little high on the pass, but Stegman was able to reach the hands up. Touchdown, Bluebirds. The conversion on 2 points can tie it up. Minute 12 to go in the state championship.
And they're going to go on the spread. They're trying for 2. Sauer rolling out. He's looking into the corner. He better get it off. He does. It's almost caught in the back of the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Randy Stegman. He couldn't get it, but it almost went into the arms of Jason Stegman in the back of the end zone. But I tell you what, the fans are happy. They scored, and it's 14-12.
Bowling Green leads here.
Oh, you're cold. Here's the kick. It squibs through to about the 22, and it's picked up by Harpool. Wow, what a hit. Unbelievable defensive play. An open field tackle.
That was,
Meadows?
Yeah, 56, Dustin Meadows. And I tell you, that's about it. He just exploded through there, came out of nowhere, and just put the hammer down on the ball carrier, knocked you down at the 23. What a play by Dustin Meadows.
You know, when you get Harpool on the outside, no telling what he could do. And Meadows might have saved some big yardage there. 1st and 10 for the Purples on the 24-yard line. They're in the bone. Harpool on 1st down over the 30. Knocked down at the 35. That'll be a 1st down and a pickup of 11 yards, 12 yards. Brady Grimm again. He's a great one, but when you have to call his name a lot, that means football's in the secondary.
Yeah, what's wrong with that picture? It's your safety making your tackles, and that means that Harpool's already upfield for about 10 yards of plus situation for Bowling Green. Just 39 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
Here's the 1st down play again. Harpool caught from behind. Man, had he not been stopped from behind, I think Weinrich got him. He would have been gone.
Brian
Bounces
Harpool
forward to the 40.
came in 170 carries, 1,400 yards, 18 TDs, and he just explodes when he gets that ball from the quarterback. He's out of there like a lightning bolt, and we've seen it time and time again tonight. I think somebody told me he runs a legit 4.40.
Oh, easy. Here's the bone again. 2nd down and 5. This time up the middle. Harpool straight up the middle. He'll pick up 2 to the 42. And let's go down to the sidelines and Dave Gaduli. Dave.
I mean, we're here. We don't know as far as the truth of that. It is just kind of secondhand. So we are at this time reporting unconfirmed sources.
Man.
Here's the pitch. 3rd down. Colson. I don't think he got it. He didn't.
That's a big-time play by Danny Fennell. Of course, all the Fennells have played on state champions. His dad played on the state championship team. His grandpa played on the state champion team at Highland.
It's destiny, brother.
And that's 4th down, and that's good defense by Highlands. They're going to get the ball back.
They're going to have a punt. Demont Franklin's going to come out, the sophomore. He's the backup quarterback, and he is also the punter.
Man, what shocking news out of Covington Catholic. As Tim Lewis said, unconfirmed, but man, that is unbelievable.
Franklin gets off a pretty decent kick. And Johnson has to go between his hands.
That's the Bowling
That is
Green
a
ball.
live ball. Unless he just didn't touch it. I don't know what they, if they give it to Bowling Green or not.
Well, obviously the Highlands players thought that he didn't touch it, but Bowling Green saying that's our football. And
Well, Johnson let it go through his hands, and Brady Grimm said, let's go down to Gaduli.
Gary, the ball was never touched. Well, they rolled that way. For a while, it looked like Bowling Green said they touched. But I guarantee you, I was on the ball. It wasn't touched. They're full of crap on the Bowling Green side. Nobody touched that ball. I was right there. Maynard tried to pick it up, but he never got close to catching it. So it's Highlands football on the 16-yard line.
But still, Dave and Tim, the point being the punt returns has been an adventure tonight for the Bluebirds.
Well, I tell you what, that is the third that has come awfully close. They've lost one. Well, the Bluebirds will get the football on the 16. Here they go with the counter again. That's worked for them all year. Frisk had 300 yards last week doing it. Kennedy making the stop.
Yeah,
Bowling Green is prepared for this game.
Yeah, they're prepared. They watched, the great preparation of Bowling Green on Justin Frisk. And Mike Welch has some numbers, I believe, on Justin Frisk.
18 carries, is that what we said? Oh, 10 carries for Frisk and 27 yards tonight.
And he had
fought for them all.
314 last week against Leslie. Of course, I told you what a sieve that Leslie County defense was.
Yeah. we're in the fourth quarter, 10:22 to go. Frisk on the delay draw, room to the 25-30, first down. Frisk will get out to the 31-yard line, and the Birds are moving. Will Wade, the strong safety, coming up to make the stop.
That's what Highlands needed, Tim Lewis. You got 10-15 to go in the ballgame. You needed for your star back, Justin Frisk, to step up. He bounced off people to 23, picked up 8 more yards up to the 31. First down, Highlands. Big-time play by Justin Frisk, who before that carry only had 27 yards on 2.7 yards per carry, but he added that average a little bit on that carry.
Cornelius Blewett, their leading tackler this year, has been fairly quiet in this ballgame. We haven't called him much. He's not been involved. Chris Glass has done a job. 3 wide receivers now in. Here comes the pitch. Oh, they give it to Frisk. They fake the pitch and give it to Frisk, and J.P. Sherrill makes the stop, but not before Frisk picks up about 3.
I'll tell you, has John Paul Sherrill been nothing short of sensational or what? If he doesn't make that play, Tim Lewis, you're probably still calling Justin Frisk his number because I think he might have been gone.
This is an important drive. Bluebirds can take some time off this clock, wear down that defense. The clock is rolling, 9:25 to play in the ball game. It's Bowling Green 14, Highlands 12. Second down, we have a penalty as the tight end, Philip Shearer, bounces offside. So procedure call is going to back him up inside the 30.
Now, you hate to see that. Philip Shearer on the opposite, on the different page as his quarterback, P.J. Sauer was. And it might have been the inflection or the cadence or something to Sauer. I don't know, but Philip Shearer definitely took off too early to be 2nd and 13 now for the Birds at the 29.
Bowling Green fans on their feet on the far sideline. Trying to cheer on their defense now. 2nd down and 12.
As Dave Shuddy mentioned, Tim Lewis, Highlands our last shot for a state champion this year in Greater Cincinnati.
That's right. Sauer again. The give to Frisk. Actually, I think this is Lickard this time. Nowhere. Nothing. Maybe picked up a yard to the 30. They're not getting anything between the hash marks.
Nope.
They need to spread the offense out a little bit. The problem with Highlands is when they got those double wings in there, everything takes place within the yard of the quarterback, of the center's butt, basically. And you get any type of defensive momentum, and a lot of things can go wrong. Middle. This time they go 3 wide receivers, and Frisk will get the handoff. On a 3rd and long, they tried the draw play, and it didn't work. They had 4 wide receivers. Cornelius Blewett this time getting in there, and we'll have to see a Bluebird punt the football.
You mentioned earlier Blewett hasn't been much of a factor. He was on that play, though. 4th down now, and dropping back deep will be Harpool. Wade will be the up man, and set the punt it away will be Orange back at the 22-yard line.
Something we haven't talked about yet tonight, and we're in the 4th quarter now, is, a lot of these kids aren't used to playing on the college field where the hash marks are a little bit wider. And when they go to the short side of the field, it's really the short side of the field for them. Here's Arns in a punt. Again, Sherrill almost blocked it, and again, Arnson has to go about 15 yards out of bounds. And they're going to give him a good spot.
That official has no clue where to mark the football.
He's just walking around like Winnie the Pooh. I don't know what his problem is.
First, he went back to the 35, and now he comes up and he's going to mark it at the 43-yard line.
Well, the official carrying the ball on the field is following him, too, mirroring him. Like, what are you doing?
It's like frickin' practice.
Well, the football will be placed finally down to the 42-yard line, 43-yard line. Bowling Green with good field position. They go to the wishbone. That 2 tight end. Here's the give. This will be to Colton. Lindemann chasing him from behind will pull him down a yard gain maybe.
Yeah, that's where pursuit defense does it for you. Highlands really pursuing the football. You mentioned Lindemann pursuing behind the play. Came from behind Delvin Colton, grabbed him, threw him down to the AstroTurf here at Cardinal Stadium. Very little gain. Second down. Highlands has all 3. No, they have 2 timeouts left. Bowling Green has all 3 of their allotted timeouts left here in the second half.
Bowling Green, if they can get down and get some type of points, would really force Highlands' hand here. Highlands, they need a field goal to win.
Yeah, but we don't know how seriously injured the Bischoff is either.
Here's the pitch. Harpool to midfield. He'll get to the 47. That's the first down as he picked up about 9 on the play.
Yeah, he got a pretty good mark, and that's going to be very close to the first down. I think he has it. I don't know. It depends on if it's a left foot or right foot. But looking across the field from Miami, he may be not a good mark. He's going to be inches shy of the first down. 6:47, clock running here, 14-12.
Third and short, less than a yard. Talk about a pivotal play. Both crowds will get up and support their team on this one. With 6.5 to play in the ball game. 14-12, Bowling Green with the lead. Gray, the quarterback, in the wishbone. They give to Harpool easily with the first down. Breaks loose inside the 40-yard line to the 38.
And making the stop for the Bluebirds, Fennell was there, and also Ben Pogue, the linebacker, was in there as well, the 205-pound sophomore for the Bluebirds.
Well, and a new set of downs for the Purples. Scope has some equipment problems. Looks like his hip pad came out.
We mentioned Damien's father played at Syracuse University with Jim Brown. Pretty good teammate.
I bet so. Here's the pitch again. Harpool, this time he shakes a couple of tackles. He is unbelievable. He'll get inside the 35 and will pick up about 4.
You know, he's a great back. He makes the Associated Press first-team All-State as a defensive back. And look how he can run the football.
Yeah. What did he have this year again? It was well over 1,400 yards, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, I'll pull that out for you.
1,417 yards, 18 touchdowns.
Right.
And only 170 carries.
This game, Tim, 20 carries, 120 yards.
Here's the give on the inside. Harpool will bounce out. Everybody getting in there. Aaron Perkins diving on top there. And, man, he picked up about 3 inches.
I was looking down earlier. I see Bischoff walking. He seems to be okay. The place kicker for Highlands walking behind the bench. Number 8 seems to be okay. So if it comes down to that, he should be all right. 5:23 to go in this ball game. A 2-point spread right now for the Purples of Bowling Green. They have third down and a long 6 at the Fort Thomas Highlands 34-yard line. Far hash marks are going to left to right. Here's Tim.
Thank you, Gary. And the wishbone. Again, Harpool the second back through, and they stop him.
Ben
Pogue. You got to love that name. Aaron Perkins also in there.
Yep.
And it'll bring up a 4th down. They're obviously out of field goal range. Kennedy's been doing their kicking tonight. He can't make it go 20 yards.
Unless he's Doug Pelfrey, he's not going to kick it from there. That would be, what, about a 52 or 53-yarder.
That would be, well, it would be about a 52-yarder from there.
Thank you.
They're going to go for it. 4th down. They're in 4th down territory. Wade will come to the near side, and they split the bone. In motion, Harpool. He gets the pitch. Cuts back, and close, a fumble. Nope.
He's short of the first down, though.
I thought the ball was loose. It's not.
No, he does not have the first down. That should be Highlands football. Wasn't that 4th down?
Grimm says no. Perkins says no.
That's not a good mark, but I'm telling you, that should not be enough for the first down.
They put the ball about a little inside the 29-yard line. They're going to bring the sticks out and measure for this. Let's go down to Dave Gaduli.
From here, it don't look like they get it. It was a bad spot on the ball. It should be Highlands' ball, and it is Highlands' ball. Offensively, they got to put the drive together this time. Mix it up, screen draws, get the ball in there. So here's their last shot to make a run at it. They can pull this thing out. We know Bishop kicked the field goal. Back to you and Booth, Gary and Tip.
If there are any Cavs folks listening, Tim, I wish they would confirm the report that Dave mentioned earlier about Mike Capel. The reason that means so much to Dave Gaduli, Mike Capel worked out with Dave Gaduli.
Yeah, he's not. That's horrible news if that is true, and we, of course, don't want to be the bearers of bad news. Meanwhile, the Bluebirds have a quest for a championship here with 4 minutes to play. They have the football on their own 29. Sauer being rushed, still on his feet, and he'll be slammed to the ground.
He was down.
He was down. The ball came loose, but the play was called dead.
Yeah, he was down.
Kennedy slamming him.
PJ probably would have been more advised to get rid of that ball. Just throw it away, Tim. Don't take the sack. Don't take the 7 yard. Just throw it into the, throw it behind your bench, whatever.
Well, they've got to get it here. They've only got 3.5 minutes left. And Bowling Green's offense has been performing enough that they'll get a couple of first downs.
Well, I tell you what, I don't want to undermine the play of P.J. Sauer, but I'd love to have seen this football game with a healthy Matthew Mason.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is a totally different ball game.
Well, they bring in the extra tight end. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Here's the pitch. Frisk. He's looking to throw. He's going to go downfield. It's going to be almost picked off. It was intended for Brannick.
Yeah, Brannick screaming for interference by Wade. He was tripped up. It was actually the trip by Wade that knocked Brannick into Harpool that saved the interception. Harpool's got that ball picked if Brannick doesn't trip into him.
Yeah, he was just waiting under it like a center fielder. Clock will stop. 3:03 to play. 3rd down. And they have to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, down 14-12 to the Purples, ranked number 1 along with Hopkinsville. They flip-flop most of the season, number 1, number 2. Highlands have been in the top 10 most of the season.
So the Birds with the ball on the 23, 3rd and 16. And Sauer is going to be looking into the face of J.P. Sherrill, gets under it, and then we see Cornelius Blewett.
Yeah,
you know, just when I say we haven't called his name, he makes a big-time play.
Yeah, that's a good job of Sauer. He actually ducked underneath John Paul Sherrill and eluded that, and then Cornelius Blewett came up to finish him off. And now, as you mentioned, they got to go for it 4th down and 22 yards. They need to get up to the 39 for a first down.
Yeah, the football is at the 14. Actually, it's at the almost the 17-yard line.
Clock winding down. Just 2 minutes, 25 seconds to go in this AAA state championship.
For all practical purposes, this is the last play for the Bluebirds if they don't get it. Fans on their feet. Sauer. It's going to go over the middle, and it's going to be intercepted. No, dropped. Wade had it, and he dropped it.
Well, it's a good job, you know, he dropped. Now they'll have it at the, Bowling Green will have it at the takeover to 17. He ended up near the 35-yard line, and with 2:12 to go, Highlands does have 2 timeouts left, so they could possibly stop. They can't stop some clock here, but they need to come up with some big plays defensively.
Well, could it be that Greater Cincinnati will be shut out this year?
First time in a long time. Of course, Beechwood went for their 5th consecutive today. Mike Gagel, gutsy call a little over a minute to go, and Mike went for the win, and Dustin Jones was open. John Michael threw a little bit high, and Mayfield prevailed. And then the second game was a thriller, double overtime. Breathitt won 42-35.
Here's the first down play for Bowling Green. And Harpool is going to see a host of Bluebirds tackle him for about a 2-yard loss. You're looking at, man, everybody. Pogue, Weinrich in there, Perkins, Grimm coming up on the from the safety position to get in the backfield.
Andy Raker, 71, was in there as well.
Time.
And back to live action, Bowling Green. Delvin Colton will take it straight up the middle. He scores from 17 yards down, and Bowling Green adds 6 to the total. That'll be the ball game.
Yeah, that'll be the game, especially if they make this kick here, because that would put them up 9. Right now, if Highlands would score and a conversion could tie it, but this is the big point right here.
Oh, man. Talk about a backbreaker. Wade to attempt the extra point. Snap is a little low. The kick looks good from here, and it is. Bowling Green, 21. Highlands, 12. A minute 58 to play. The Bluebirds will have another shot.
The 4A game tomorrow will be Lexington Henry Clay against Louisville St. X, and that'll finish this 1995 football season.
Kennedy again, just going to squib it. It goes over the head of a Highland player and taken by Johnson at the 20. He's hit hard at about the 25-yard line, and that's where they'll have first possession for their first down. 1:52 to work with and one timeout, but they're down by 9, so they need to score twice.
Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on the Score, we'll have high school football, the ball report. We'll be broadcasting live from here in Louisville. We'll have several of the coaches from around the state on, Tim, and just talk about all the exciting games here today from the Kentucky High School State Football Championships.
Here we go. Sauer's going to throw. Obviously, going downfield, he's got Stegman, who had it and then dropped it. Jumped into the air at about the 45-yard line and couldn't pull it down.
Will Wade was back defending and almost got a hand on that, but good opportunity there. It looked like Stegman was going to pull it in, and he made a great effort, but goes incomplete, stops the clock, 1:35.
Randy Stegman's their go-to guy. He's, I think, their tallest wide receiver. Brannick is 5'9". Stegman is 5'9". Brannick is a pretty good receiver in his own right. He comes out to the near side. They got trips to the far side. Sauer to throw again on second down. He's hit as he throws it. It's going to go over everybody's head.
We have a collision between the intended receiver, Stegman, and Will Wade at the midfield stripe.
And a third down and 10. Clock is stopped with 1:29 to play. You know, they fine to think downfield, but they also need to think first down. And they have not really tried those short passes all night. The one that the touchdown was scored on, the first touchdown, was a very short pass over the middle. Try those little hooks. Here's the spread offense, 4 wide receivers. Sauer is hit as he throws. It's picked off over the middle. And this is Colton, who's going to take it all the way down. And does he score? No. He's knocked down at about the 2. Sauer still down on about the 15-yard line.
Yeah, he was hit hard as he released it. He was just, the boom was lowered on him, and Delvin Colton there with the pick. And boy, I tell you, did he get up a burst of speed after he picked that ball on? He almost took it in, knocked out inside the 2-yard line.
Well, you really got to feel for the Bluebirds, and you made an excellent point in the third quarter, how different this game would have been possibly with the Matthew Mason, a healthy Matthew Mason. P.J. Sauer is a good quarterback. He is going to be excellent next year, and if nothing, this is a great learning experience for this Bluebirds team. They're very young. They're all going to be back. Lickard and Frisk, Maynard Johnson, they're all back. Sauer and Stegman.
Bluebirds will be very solid next year. Of course,
very, very solid.
Toby Ladd and Kuhnheim, the big tackles, are back, so they got some linemen to build around. They do lose Bush, Brown, and Adams, but they're going to have a great football team next year.
Let's see what Bowling Green does if they go ahead and try to score here. They will. Touchdown, Bowling Green. Harpool from 2 yards out will add to the lead.
Yeah, I think that's a little frustration, too. Remember last year how they squandered a 21-9 lead against Tough Camp and lost the game. And right now, Coach Dan Haley taking no chances.
Well, with 1:16 left, down by 9, there's really no question as to the outcome of the game. Wade will attempt the extra point with Chuck Beard holding. The kick is going to be good. We'll take a timeout. 1:16 to play in the game. Bowling Green 20. Bowling Green is going to go unbeaten this year, ranked 1 and the state champion. 1:05 to play with the clock running. The Bluebirds will have the football on their own 42 after the kickoff. Sauer's going to drop back to pass, setting up the screen. They have it to Frisk. Frisk runs into his own man, bounces off the midfield, tries to get out of bounds. He does not get out of bounds, but he's inside Bowling Green territory. He leveled Brandon Bush.
The problem with that is that's his pulling guard out there.
Well, why is Bush turning around? He move upfield. Here they go. Sauer, he was a little shaken up after the interception, has him moving now. The clock is at 40 seconds. Sauer looking right side. He's going to have the ball knocked down, tipped again. J.P. Sherrill. You know, for all the offense,
you really want to look at an offensive player as an MVP, but J.P. Sherrill has done an amazing job defensively tying down the Bluebirds tonight. And you really have to give him a nod for an MVP.
You know, that's a pretty good football name, too, isn't it? You know, everybody knows Jackie Sherrill.
Yes, sir.
John Paul Sherrill.
What if they're related?
6'2", 225. He's definitely a college football player waiting to happen next year.
5 wide receivers. Sauer will be alone. And on the ground, Derek Kennedy, another guy who's been in the face of Sauer all night. 6'5", as you mentioned. Everybody looking at him. And another loss of yards. They're back inside their own territory now. 20 seconds to play. And a 3rd down. Sauer steps up, going to Stegman. He overthrows it out of bounds. Defending Patrick Martin out there. And they'll have one more play, 4th down.
Tomorrow on most of these Kentucky High School Sports Network affiliates, WIOK will have the Lexington Henry Clay Louisville St. X game, and Sports Radio WLAP in Lexington carrying that broadcast tomorrow as well, Tim Lewis.
And on the score, we have college football.
That's right.
Army-Navy gets underway at 11:30, Texas A&M at 3:30, and the SEC Championship game, Florida and Arkansas, in the evening. Sauer to throw. Looking downfield. He's going to go all the way down. It's caught by Stegman. No, incomplete. They say he trapped it. And that'll be it offensively. Lickard is hurt. We haven't had any injuries of significance tonight, and Lickard on the last offensive play is hurting. And I don't know. It looks like he's holding his arm. Well, with 6 seconds left, Bowling Green should just fall on the football, which is exactly what they do. And the ball game will end. Final score, Bowling Green has won the Class 3A state championship as they down Fort Thomas Highlands 28-12. Let's see if we can find Dave Gaduli on the sidelines.